Yo, everything is based on energy, right? Everything you see now, every war, every invention, even the moon and the stars, right? This is a quote that I saw earlier today, right? Everything has been created or destroyed by energy. The difference between a successful and a failed business, energy. Leadership and visionaries simply redirect the energies of men. Right? I want you to think about that for a second. And obviously, as we get into the video, fit of the day. This is I don't want to say light blue, but it's a nice blue suit, and we've got the yellow tie. It's got a little bit of it's like an orangish brown, right? And then it's yellow, orangish brown. It's got white, and then it's also got a blue that's similar to the color of the suit. We've got this dark metal gray tie clip with my initials on it, and then we've got the blue face watch, brown leather. Obviously, we've got the crisp white shirt under it, and I wore this suit today. This outfit today with tight, light tan pants, pretty clean suit, and then the pocket square actually matches the tie, but I flipped it inside out so that it's a little bit lighter than the tie. And then the suit, or not the suit, the tie clip actually came with cufflinks that also have my initials on it. So it's pretty cool. I don't really wear cufflinks like that, not yet. I don't know, for some reason I've never been a person who's worn cufflinks, but I'll probably start wearing them in the future. But yeah, let's continue with the video. Hopefully, nobody's sidetracked and nobody left. But yeah, everything is based on energy, right? Everything you see right now, every war, every invention, and everything is created or destroyed by energy. So that what does that mean? Even for you and your business in your everyday life, right? There's a big difference between a successful and a failed business, right? Between you being successful and you failing, right? Your mindset around everything, right? And it's all energy. And I have some notes on the side, right? Like leadership and really visionaries, they simply redirect the energies of men. So who are you leading? Are you leading yourself? Are you leading your team? Are you leading your family? Are you leading your household, right? Like your girlfriend, right? Like none of this is supposed to be easy, right? It's supposed to be painful, but it just has to work once. And this goes back to everything I'm always saying around learning these types of skills, building these types of skills, mastering these types of skills, especially leadership, management, and operations, right? Even training people. All those tie into leadership and communication as well. Because believe it or not, being a good leader, it means you understand how to communicate with people, right? With anyone on any topic, on any subject, you're not afraid to speak your mind. You're not afraid to direct people. You're not afraid to tell the truth. And this is something I'm stepping more into as I'm working on some of the projects with my clients. It's being not just brutally honest, but being as honest as I can be, right? And there's no room for lack of energy in a successful company. So how energetic is everybody else around you? How energetic are you when it comes to doing the work that you need to do? Right? Like for me, I could say I'm putting hours and hours in, and I know part of me has more energy than everybody else on the team. But it's up to me to make sure I'm holding everybody else accountable to what they need to get done because there are deadlines, right? And let's say if it was solely up to me, I'd probably fire a few other people as well that are on the team because I understand that not everybody can keep up, not everybody's willing to keep up, and not everybody actually wants to keep up, right? Some people are fine coasting. Some people are fine, you know, with minimum pay or let's say minimum wage, right? As long as they get paid at the end of the day, they're fine with that, right? So it's putting all these things into account when it comes to just being a necessary leader, being the right type of leader, and leading your team and leading your operation, leading your section, right, etc. Right. So there is no room for lack of energy, right, in a successful company, right? Because to do anything great, tremendous amounts of energy must be spent. So when you see less energy devoted towards a project, a goal, task, or idea, you know, you can pretty much be sure that project, task, or idea is dying, right? Only constant, unrelenting energy can keep something alive. Only energy can make it grow, right? So it's extremely important for you leading and for you being in charge and for you managing things to truly, truly always do your best to have the utmost amount of energy, right? If that's the right way to say that sentence, right? This means eating right. This means training, having your diet on point, having your mind right, having your mind on point, right? How often are you learning new things? How often are you testing yourself? How often are you forcing yourself to do difficult things, right? Even recently, I was at the gym and I was literally flipping tires, right? I was flipping tires, the big old tires, and I don't know if it's tires at the gym or if it's just like the way they made the weights, but it's literally a tire and you flip it and you have to flip it and you have to flip it. I have videos of it, which I don't I'm not really gonna add those to the. I don't really edit my YouTube videos. I just record them and shoot them and then I upload them. But if I can show this to you guys, let me see. So I can pull up the picture of right when I'm flipping the tire. So let me lower the brightness and then you guys should be able to see that. So see, this is me flipping the tire. I can actually play it for you guys. So this is like 80 pounds or something like that. So it's pretty and I was flipping 3 of them. So I was testing my speed, my mental toughness, and if I'm willing to do all 3 of them before I stop. Right? So I did all 3 of them to the 30-yard line and then I did all 3 of them back, right? And I was telling myself like, yo, very few people are willing to do this right now, but that's why I'm doing it. I'm at the gym, 3 a.m. Who is going to be flipping tires at 3 a.m. at the gym? Right? For what reason? For me, it's just to build the mental toughness, right? It's to have more like, yo, I'm going to get this done. And I'm going to do it because I know very few people are willing to do it, right? So I'm willing to test myself all the time. I'm willing to try new things all the time. I'm like, I'm not going to say I never flipped tires because I remember during wrestling, my freshman year of high school, we had these big truck tires, like way heavier than this. So they could have been like at least over 100 pounds. Because it's like a huge tire. Like I could stand in the middle of the tire, literally sit and lay back on it as if it was a big chair, right? And so I remember we're flipping those tires. We're like literally flipping the tire, and it's one tire, so we're doing it. You got to take it all the way down, and then you got to bring it back. And then there was 2 tires, so it was a competition. You have to beat the person next to you, or you got to do like burpees or something, right? So you got to flip it all the way and then flip it back. And the loser, you got to do, like sprints and burpees or something like that. And I remember how much of all the wrestling training and all of it was around the mentality. Like, sure, we're getting conditioned, we're getting in shape, but it was building the mental toughness of just doing difficult shit, doing hard shit when it counts, right? Like, I even remember us, let's say you were overweight for your wrestling match. You literally, our coach would give us a plastic, like, trash bags to put on and then throw a hoodie on top and then go sprint the entire school. So we would our practices would start at 5ish. Yeah, our practices would start pretty late because we needed the space, right? He wanted to make sure that there was very few people left in the school when our practices start, so that whatever we needed to do, like a lot of our conditioning, a lot of our training ended up being us just running around the school and doing different things, carrying the weight and carrying like sandbags and running around the school, getting in shape. And then, obviously we do our wrestling practices, the slamming, the flips and all that stuff, right? The cool stuff. But majority of it was making sure that you're in shape, making sure that you can wrestle for 6 minutes, right? Like very few people understand what it means to wrestle for 6 minutes, right? It's kind of like, think about a bear. You're fighting a bear and you have to survive for 6 minutes. But it's not going to kill you and it's not going to scratch you, but you have to tussle with it for 6 minutes. And if it pins you, obviously it gets to eat you, right? So think about it like that. So it wasn't easy. But it was worth it, and it helped me build mental toughness. I remember how our coach was. Dude was at 16, he was just a monster, right? Like at 16 years old, he was a monster. And he was showing us his old tapes, and we'd be like, damn, like if I wish I looked like he did at 16, but that showed me commitment and his drive for winning, right? Now obviously different upbringing, different parents and all that stuff comes into play when it comes to, like determination. Like I never really did sports as a kid, but when I got in middle school and high school, I knew I wanted to do sports, so I went and did sports. But I was never a kid. Oh, I've been playing X, Y, and Z sport ever since I was 3, 4, 5 years old, right? Like a lot of people, that was never, I didn't have that kind of upbringing. But I could say I played outside and things like that. But this goes back to just energy and your mindset and your willingness to just keep going and do the difficult things, because very, very few people are willing to do it. Like right now it's 9:46 p.m., right? I know I'm going to be going to the gym around 2 3 a.m. Now some of you are probably like, well, why do you like, it's how I've structured my day, it's how I've structured my time. And some of you are like, well, do you sleep before? I sleep before, but right now I'm not going to sleep tonight, so it's a little bit, I'm supposed to be asleep right now but I'm not going to sleep tonight, just because I have a lot of stuff I want to get done. And very few people are willing to do the difficult things. But when you do the difficult things, it turns you into a different breed. It turns you into a different person. And they wonder why you're able to do these things, how you're able to do these things. Why are you putting yourself through that? Right? And it's like you have to love the fact that you get to build yourself like you are building your business. You have to love the fact that you get to build yourself like you get to build your business, like you get to build your income, like you get to build your style, like you get to build, your look, right? Your walk, your talk, all of it, right? You get to build your team, right? So you have to look at yourself as that same project. How do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What do you want to look like? What do you want to be known for? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? What do you want to do in the next 5 years? What do you want to look like in the next 5 years? Right? Because a lot of you are thinking about 6 months, 3 months, even 90 days, 14 days. Like, no, no, no. Where do you want to be? What do you want to look like? What do you want to have in the next 5 years? In the next 10 years? Because the longer you delay that gratification, the harder you're willing to work throughout that period of time, the more likely you are to achieve everything that you're claiming that you want, right? And this goes back to energy. How much energy are you willing to put into something without seeing results? And then for how long? Very few people are willing to go 100 miles an hour and work and work and work without seeing results for a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Now, obviously, we all need money. So different things are going to come into play of why you're working so long without seeing a result. But if they gave you a contract and told you that in 5 years you would achieve all your goals, but until then you wouldn't make a single dollar, would you sign that contract? A lot of people would say yeah, but when it actually comes down to doing the work for 5 years straight, very few people are going to do it. Majority of people are going to quit and give up. So it's understanding where you stand, why you want to do something, right? And how much energy are you able to put into it? And everybody's gonna be like, dude, work-life balance, this and that. Well, a lot of people that are telling you about work-life balance, they've already made it. If not, they have enough to say, oh, I'm looking for balance now, right? But in the early days, you shouldn't be optimizing for balance. You should be maximizing. Like, how much output can you get from your inputs? How many hours in a day are you putting towards your goals? It doesn't get easier. You get stronger, right? Like, it doesn't get easier. You get stronger. So you have to you have to be able to maximize every hour of your day. Where is that going? What are you doing? because there's a version of you out there. I took a screenshot of this quote earlier today as well. Let me pull it up. So, and it said, there's a version of you which is 10 times smarter, stronger, and already a millionaire at your exact same age. He just wasn't lazy, and he wasn't too scared to commit to anything. So there's a version of you out there, right? There's a version of you which is 10 times smarter, stronger, and already a millionaire at your exact same age. He just wasn't lazy, and he wasn't too scared to commit to anything. Obviously, that's not exactly how the quote goes, because there's a few curse words in there, and I don't want to hurt the channel or anything. And there's a version of you out there competing for the same things that you want, but you're too lazy. You're not willing to do the difficult things. You're not willing to go through tough times. You're not willing to sacrifice a little bit longer, push a little bit harder, delay gratification a little bit more. It's one of those things where you have to live below your means for a while. Dude, this is another, it's just reminded me of another thing I saved. It was in my reminders. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So it goes, live below your means, right? Stack cash, and eventually you're gonna have so much where you're just gonna be able to do everything that you want to do, go wherever you want to go, be with whoever you want to be, attain whatever you want to attain, whenever you want, wherever you want, however you want, with whoever you want, whenever you want, right? Because that's the goal, at least for me, right? So what is the goal for you? How much energy are you putting into everything that you're doing right now? Are you truly giving it your all? Are you truly trying your best, doing your best, showing your best, always showing up on time, always being early, always looking on point? One of my boys actually told me this. He was like, yo, my CEO of my company, he actually acknowledged me the other day, and he works in finance. And he was like, yo, bro, he came up to me and he was like, dude, you're always on point. You always look sharp. You're always the best looking one in the office, man. Like, and I wanted to commend you for that. And somebody else in the office was like, why are you telling him that? Why are you doing that? And the CEO was like, because I want to commend him, right? So it got me thinking. It's like people notice the consistency, because remember, they will never see how hard you work, but they will see how good you get, right? And so the more work you put in, regardless of whether people see it or not, and you're always showing up, you're always looking sharp, you're always on point, you're always energetic and ready to work and ready to get work done and ready to just crush the day, people notice that. There are people that are envious of that. There are people that are jealous. There are people that hate you for that because your standards are so high. So you get noticed. Their standards are so low. So they feel like they have to raise their standards, but they don't want to raise their standards because they're not you. You get to stand out. You get to be different. That's what matters the most. Very few people can actually compete with you if you're willing to put in the work. Very few people actually give their best and try their all and go 100% as often as they can. You don't have to be 100% every day. But if you optimize so that you can show up and be 100% every day, of course you're going to get ahead. Of course you're going to win. Of course you're going to crush your goals, right? Because guess what? We're chasing excellence. Mentally, physically, financially. That's the goal. That's the outcome. So make sure you're doing whatever it takes to get there. Make sure you're putting as much energy as possible, because energy is everything, right? Focus is everything. Everything is based on energy, like the title of this video, right? And I'll read the quote again. Everything is based on energy. Everything you see now, every war, every invention, even the moon and the stars, everything has been created or destroyed by energy. The difference between a successful and a failed business, energy. Leadership and visionaries simply redirect the energies of men. It's supposed to be painful, but it just has to work once, right? No one will ever truly see how hard you work, but they will see how good you get. There is no room for lack of energy in a successful company. To do anything great, tremendous amounts of energy must be spent. When you see less energy devoted towards a project, goal, task, or idea, be sure that it is dying, right? Only constant, unrelenting energy can keep something alive. Only energy can make it grow. So you gotta love the fact that you get to build yourself like you get to build your business, right? And you've had countless opportunities to change, but you've denied every single one because there's an inner bitch inside of you that keeps winning the battle, right? And so you must play the game until you die, gentlemen. Become exceptional mentally, physically, financially. Gentlemen, make sure to hit that sub, right? A lot of these quotes, they're custom by me. Obviously, I take ideas from other places, but that whole, paragraph I just read for you guys is written by me. So hit that subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one.